Shalom. We want to give all praise Yahweh Bashem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles and men in the truth went down regarding this truth and knowledge. And the Wadi Yahweh Bashem Yeshua bring the spirit of the elders and apostles and men in the truth went down regarding this truth and knowledge. Call all Yahweh Bashem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash. Give all praise Yahweh Bashem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash. A couple of reports relating to CGTN America. Now, this one relates to National Weather Service regarding what's going on in California with the snow, the Saharas and northern and parts of areas of California. That's going to be going blizzard-like conditions to the Midwest. They're going to reach that. And you have the Northeast that has snow, pretty much on both sides, the East, the West, and the Northeast, man. National Weather Service is warning that there will be a severe weather risk across the U.S. next week. However, the exact details on where, when, and the intensity are not yet known. Storm begins in the Pacific Northwest in California on Saturday and are expected to move across the plains in the lower Mississippi Valley on Tuesday. It will keep traveling across the east on the central Gulf Coast on Wednesday. Some places will see heavier rain and snow, possibly tornadoes, and that's what the tornadoes and heavy snow were in California. Blizzard-like conditions and blizzards. The National Weather, the National Weather Service warns people to have a safety plan in place. That relates to CGN. So there's a pattern here that's traveling, all on the West Coast to the Midwest, and you got the East Coast here that's getting pounded with storms, weather, blizzard, on the East Coast. So it's all over across the country. So you having all different types of storms, man. This right here relates to a cyclone meanders, which is related to 185 homes. We're down. We'll read it here. At least 4 people were killed in the cyclonic storm in Tamil Nadu state in South India. The cyclone meanders hit land Friday night into Saturday. 185 homes were damaged and many lost power. Speaking of power, 1.5 relating to Ukraine, relating to the power outage because of the Russian strikes. I seen that on a report earlier today. More than 185 homes were damaged and many lost power. At least 400 trees were uprooted in the state capital, China. And you have talking about here, this is just different reports relating to the Mauna Loa, which is the volcano in Hawaii. Talks about the eruptions may end soon, man, because you see in here the lava's pouring out. I'll read that real quick. The threat of the level of the Hawaii Big Island volcano Mauna Loa has been lowered from a warning to watch on Saturday after the U.S. Geological Survey Hawaiian Volcano Observatory said the eruption may end soon. The eruption is continuing on the northeast rift zone, but the lava and gas emissions are greatly reduced, the observatory said in the bulletin. This is the first eruption of Mauna Loa in 40 years, man. Because I believe the last one was around pretty much 1984, around that time. early to mid 80s. That was a CGTN report. Here's some other reports relating to the weather. Flood, snow causing road closures. Plus, they had blizzard and wind like hurricane-like winds too. Those are on the report too. So California getting hammered, man. Flooding, snow causes road closures throughout Sacramento, Sierra regions, northern Florida, northern California, northern parts of California. The NOAA. That relates to the National Oceanic Atmospheric Association, I believe, something like that. Winter Outlook release what it means for California. It means some severe weather, man. So, Scripture talks about the Lord is beginning to what? Visit the earth which He has made, man. So the Lord is visiting the earth, man. By visitation of forms of different diversity of judgments, man. These are different reports relating to the weather. It's 20 minutes. Winter storm system bringing heavy rain, heavy snow, rain, and wind across the country from pretty much the west to the east and everything in between. These are different reports here. CBS News, National Press Review, ABC 10, Fox News, San Francisco Chronicle, KTLA, I believe that's California News, and you've got San Francisco Gate, New York Times, different reports. It's the Northeast here. Snow to hit the Northeast Monday. Commute with up to 10 inches possible in the highest elevations. When you had Buffalo areas up there in the past a couple weeks ago, that had over almost 6 feet of snow, man. So, these areas are getting hammered. Fast moving system could bring season first dust into some snow-starved northeast cities, man. So that's the pattern that's going right here. Let's see, Albany, Scranton, Burlington, Plymouth, Boston, Hartford, Connecticut, Buffalo, all those areas. Ohio, all those areas, different areas up northeast, pretty much the whole northeast corridor. Go to Isaiah 29:6. And thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts, which is the army, with thunder. So you're going to have thunder, earthquakes. You're seeing earthquakes all over the place, different areas. Great noise. So the noise with these storms and earthquakes comes with that great noise, with storms and tempest and flames of devouring fire. So you're seeing different types of weather patterns that are pretty much affected all over the world, man. So you're seeing different types of storms, blizzards, snowstorms, rain, flooding. We have fire nados, which is a form of a tornado. That's a tornado mixture of a hurricane. A tornado, pretty much a funnel of fire, man. Called fire nado. Different types of weather patterns that are affected, man. And thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder. So the Lord is visiting with thunder, with earthquakes, great noise, storms, tempests, flames of devouring fire, man. He's also visiting using different forms of weather patterns affecting all over. Cyclones, blizzards. Second Ezra 8:50. Second Ezra 8:50. For many great misery shall be done to them that in the latter times shall dwell in the world. So the latter times are now. So you see in the miseries. So the Lord is allowing different types of miseries, calamities, atrocities to visit the world which He will make, man. Read that again. For many great miseries shall be done to them in the latter times that shall dwell in the world, because they have walked greatly, have walked in great pride, man. So because of the wickedness, the pride, the iniquities on earth, and the arrogance and the haughtiness, the Lord is sending these things upon the people, man. And we're in those latter times right now, man. So He's allowing certain things to happen, man, on earth, man, related to judgments, man. So, Second Ezra 15:14. Woe unto them that dwell in the earth. That's a warning for what? For destruction, for diversity of judgment. And the Lord, Psalms 9:16. The Lord is known by the judgment He executes, man. The Lord is angry at the wicked every day, man. Psalm 7:11. So He's visiting the earth by using different judgments, man. Forms of judgment that He executes, and part of the judgments is different types of weather patterns He uses to execute judgment, man, such as snow, blizzards, storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, typhoons, cyclones. So these are different patterns and forms of judgment that He uses as far as the diversity of judgment, man. Second Ezra 9:1. He answered me and then and said, measure thou time diligently in itself. How we measure the time? Correlating what goes on in society, correlating with the scriptures, man. And when thou seest the parts of the signs pass, of the past which I had told thee before. So these things were spoken that a generation will experience the things that we're experiencing now in the current. Then shalt thou understand is the very same time the highest will begin, wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he has made. So the Lord is visiting the world related to judgment, man. He's allowing judgment to be set forth, man. Go with 29 and 6 of Isaiah, man. The Lord is going to begin to visit with the Lord of hosts, man, using thunderstorms, tempests, of devouring fire, man. 29 and 6. Number 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of people in the world. So you're seeing uproars of the people, you're seeing earthquakes, you're seeing different types of calamities, atrocities happen on the earth, man. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things of the days that were before thee, using the prophets, man, giving warning. Even from the beginning. So the prophets speak to the people of things that was going to happen. Scripture talks about Jeremiah, I believe 28 and 8. Prophets would preach about destruction. Let me get it real quick. So the prophets had been before me, the prophets that had been before me, both prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war, evil, pestilence. Pestilence is a plagues, man. Evils goes to bad things, man. War, we're seeing war, precursors of that, hearing rumors of wars. Hearing wars and rumors of wars. Evils goes to bad times, man. Perilous and bad times, man. And pestilence, which goes to plague, or moran, which means a plague, man. So they prophesize relating to these things. War, evil, pestilence. We'll go back to what I was reading at. For like as all in the world that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and end is manifest. The end is being made manifest, being made known, man. Even so that the times that the highest had plain beginning wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. So you seeing the powerful works of Yahweh Shem Yeshua, the great signs, the signs and the tokens, the effects of relating to the manifestation of these things that the Lord is doing, man. You're seeing these things, man. One more, and this will be it. And the great earthquake shall be in different places, and famines, which are shortages, and pestilence, which goes to plagues, and fearful sights, and great signs. So the fearful sights, seeing these different calamities that the Lord is using to judge this place, that's a fearful sight, man. Hurricanes, blizzards, tornadoes, different types of storms, winds, different types of calamities, cyclones, typhoons, whirlpools, all different types of diversity of forms that the Lord uses for judgment, man. Great signs goes to these are the things that the Lord is going to use before for the coming back of his sending back his only begotten Son. And these are signs and tokens that are from the heaven, man. That's 21 and 11 of Luke. This is something short. Lay into this. I'm going to give all praise Yahweh Bashem Yosha Bashem Rakakadash Zayab Wolf. I hope it helps. Shalom.